7:19 on the CKNW Morning News. It's a billion-dollar project, the new Prosperity Mine. But what we have here now is Taseko Mines here in Vancouver saying a federal review panel relied on the wrong information when it prepared a report that concluded the company's plans to preserve a lake near this proposed new Prosperity Mine probably wouldn't work. The lake is Fish Lake, and if you were to try to drive it, it's about an 8-hour drive north of Whistler. Brian Battison is a VP at Taseko Mines, and he's on the line to talk about all of this with us. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Philip.
What is wrong with the report?
Well, what's wrong is that it's clear now that Natural Resources Canada relied on the wrong design in their analysis to advise the panel, and then the panel relied on this wrong information to draw conclusions in their report. So the bottom line here is that this calls into question the validity of the finding made by the panel of significant adverse effects to fish and fish habitat and wetlands, etc. If you get this wrong, the water quality issue wrong, which is what NRCan has done, then you get these other findings wrong as well.
Then what is your company saying you are going to do for Fish Lake?
So the reason this whole project has come back a second time is to save Fish Lake. And we've committed to spending an additional $300 million to accomplish that. And so it's a significant accommodation to those folks who are concerned about the future of Fish Lake. So we've come up with this new design to save the lake. And it's based in part on water management and all of the things that we do in the industry to achieve high environmental integrity. And the work that we do, just like the work we do here in Williams Lake at our Gibraltar mine, which is the second largest open pit copper mine in Canada, where we have 700 people working.
It seems, Brian, that heels are dug in here because in response to what you're saying, one of the Aboriginal leaders is quoted as saying in the newspapers that your position at Taseko is a joke. That's a quote. He says the company is trying to salvage a project that's been reviewed twice with the same conclusion that it would result in significant adverse environmental effects. So heels are dug in.
Well, this is certainly not a joke. This project, it's $1.5 billion investment in British Columbia. It will generate billions of dollars in new tax revenue for the province and for Canada, $5.3 billion in new revenue for the province, $4.8 billion for the federal government. So this is a project that will affect the lives of tens of thousands of people. It's a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and it's important then that it be given every opportunity in its examination to come up with the accurate conclusions. Our evidence and the evidence of our experts who design these facilities around the world is that there's no significant adverse environmental effect related to this project. And that's why we were so surprised when the panel came out with a very strange finding on this particular matter. The report itself, though, for this project by the review panel is largely, very largely, supportive of the project itself going forward.
Well, let me ask you in a moment on how this stalemate can be resolved. Brian Battison of Taseko Mines on the line with us. It is 8 degrees outside Pacific Center as we talk with Brian Battison, Vice President at Taseko Mines, and this business of Fish Lake and the new Prosperity Mine. If there is a stalemate, Brian, how does this get fixed?
Yes, that's the right question, Philip. The way this gets fixed is for the federal government to allow this project to go to the next level of examination, which is a much more detailed, much more higher level of examination, where we need to secure the permits required to build this project and to operate this project. It's a very difficult, rigorous test. If we're not able to satisfy those regulators at the provincial and federal level and secure those permits, then the project doesn't go ahead. But if we are able to satisfy those regulators, then the project is able to go ahead with a high degree of certainty around environmental responsibility. So that's the solution to this thing, is to move it to the next level of examination.
And what is your deadline for this? Not that you'd tell me, but there must be a point, because it's been already going on. How many years has this been underway?
Well, it's been going on since the early 1990s.
And think about that. I mean, at some point, you're going to have to say, look, you know, we need a resolution here.
Yes, you're absolutely right. We've invested in the neighborhood of $130 million in this project so far, bringing together the world's finest experts in mine development and operation. But there is a limit to our patience. You're right, and to the patience of the people in the Caribou, who, after all, the vast majority of them are supportive of this project, want to see it go ahead. They're aware of the kind of work that we do here. As I mentioned, we have 700 people working in our Gibraltar mine, so they understand resource development and they understand mining in particular. But there is a limit to their patience as well. So we need to move ahead with these things. It's priorities for the country, growth, economic development, long-term prosperity. Those are the priorities. This matches those priorities, and we certainly need to move it forward.
You'll always have people who don't want one shovel in the ground. Look at the fracking thing. So you'll always have opposition. How do you get over it?
Well, there is always opposition, but what there always is as well is support, and the majority of support, the population of people, particularly here in the Caribou, is very significant, Philip. We have the communities of Williams Lake, Quesnel, 100 Mile, the regional district of the Caribou, all came out in support of the project, all spoke to the panel in support of the project. They represent tens of thousands of people here. It's a significant project that people want to see move forward. So they can't be forgotten either, nor can their needs.
Thank you for your time this morning, Brian Battison of Taseko Mines. The news is next.